How's it going, guys? It's Cole from See Through Panel showing off Kaiju number 8, Volume 1 by Naoya Matsumoto, published by Viz under their Shonen Jump imprint, retailing for $10 US for one volume of a manga in traditional manga size. I'll compare it to a American trade paperback here. There you go, just for a size comparison. Typical manga format, nothing too crazy. As a quick spoiler, I really enjoyed this story and I will be continuing it. I actually have volumes 2 and 3 right here. I'm just holding off on reading them and reviewing them until after I do the haul video where I actually say that I got them. For now, this is the only volume I've read and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It is a very heartwarming story, very action heavy, which I enjoy, but also has a lot of heart behind the characters and their behavior. So what this story is about is in Japan, in the modern era, kaijus, I guess, manifest. We don't exactly know how, and it is up to the defense force to eliminate them, like this, in this awesome full color opening. And our main character here, it is his job to clean up afterwards. The unsung heroes of kaiju defense clean up, process all of the limbs and things, and get the area back to how it was before it was destroyed. And our secondary character that we haven't really interacted a lot with in this volume, but we know that she is going to be a very important character here, is Mina Ashiro, Kafka's childhood friend, you can see here in this panel, that is now basically the star of the Japanese Defense Force, the up-and-coming rising star. And Kafka's 32 now, a little old to be joining the Defense Force. He's flunked out once before, failed the tests, and he's kind of depressed. Not really depressed, but he kind of has some... he still has that hope that he wants to do something more, but he doesn't know how. And then Reno, our kind of like sidekick character who I really, really enjoy, comes in to join the cleanup crew, and he has hopes of joining the Defense Force, and he's really just taking this job so that he can get more information and use that to join the Defense Force. And that kind of rekindles a flame in Kafka that he wants to try again. And Reno is very, very provocative and kind of gets under Kafka's skin, but in a very respectful way. He's always calling him sir. He's always being very polite, but he's really asking these digging questions like, why did you give up? Why don't you think you can do it? I think it's stupid that you would give up, but always being very respectful about it. And on their first day of Reno's, also the art style, I haven't gotten into much, is really, really beautiful, I think. Pretty simple, can be hyper detailed when it needs to be, but in general, the cartooning is just quite clean, and I really enjoy the emotions and the character work. But on the first day, things don't go super well when, what do they call it? What do they call it? It's like a yoju, there you go. A mini kaiju that comes out of the bodies of kaiju, starts to try and attack Reno at the cleanup site. Kafka, being our hero, saves him with that awesome facial expression. Pretty, like, horrific stuff almost, too. The eyeballs popping out. The design is really awesome in this book. I particularly love this panel. He didn't actually bite anything there. It's just, like, speed lines and air kind of under the chop sound effect. Just that impact of his teeth coming together. So he saves Reno, and in the process, that's a little more horror, too. Slobbering. Pretty detailed when he wants it to be, all the shading there. Speed lines, focusing on Kafka. So he gets kind of his ass whooped by this Yoju. Ends up being saved by his childhood friend and Defense Force leader after Reno tries to make a heroic stand to come back and help him. Beautiful spread there. Saved by Mina and taken to the hospital. And this is where I'm going to slow down. Obviously, I don't normally get into huge spoilers. I'm doing kind of a story walkthrough. I wanted to get a little bit more deep into the opening chapter, because I mean this will take you like 10 minutes to get through. It's really quick. There's a lot of manga is like that. It's a very quick read, and this is just the opening. So past this, I promise I'll be a little less spoiler heavy. I'm going to put a note in the description because I realized I didn't say I was going to be going into more spoilers. But last thing before I stop that, they're talking about, he says he's going to resolve himself to go to try and join the Defense Force again. That's when this thing, speaking, which I don't think Kaiju normally speak, flies into his throat, and he becomes the creature depicted on the cover. And I love the design of this, but it is going to become Kaiju number 8. Not much of a spoiler because you don't know why. But from here on out, I'm just going to be flipping through. I'm not going to be spoiling stuff super bad. But I found this story to be very, very, like I said, full of heart, very uplifting, funny, really not a lot of downer moments. Even when Kafka's kind of like reflecting back on how he quit, trying to join the Defense Force, and these moments of him as a child with Mina are kind of uplifting and hopeful. There is one page of fan service here, but the main thing you should be taking away is not this. It's that she has a giant, like, white tiger thing that I think is depicted at the beginning of the book. Oh, maybe not. I swear it's somewhere around there. Maybe not. He's got a big white tiger thing, though, and it's really cool. And that's the real takeaway from this panel. But even those scenes where they're reminiscing about his childhood and he's kind of sad about how things turned out, it's more used to inspire him in the moment than to kind of be a downer and to make him get in his feelings and lose hope and things. It's all very hopeful, and I found that very nice for a change. I'm reading Mask of Fudo right now, and I just came off reading the entirety of The Immortal Hulk, so I'm pretty much in a mood where I want some lighthearted stuff. There's some bizarre things. Weird little gag. I wanted something a little more jolly, let's say, in my reading. But overall, I'm not going to go too deep on this anymore. I just want to show some artwork and stuff. Really enjoyed it. Obviously, I've already shown you that I have the next 2 volumes. I'm going to be reading those. Great action page. Super magnified line work here. You can see every single line on the page. I do want to show another thing that I really enjoyed before we get too far into it. This. Halfway through, right in like a chapter break, we get a little breakdown of Kafka. There's another one for, I think, Reno in here, but I like this one. Because I like when the writers and artists are really open with their development process and their thoughts. And he has an author comment. I like protagonists that make you think everything will be just fine once they show up. I'm hoping that Kafka ends up being that kind of protagonist. I found that to be very wholesome. He even like knows his height and birthday and all his likes. And I really enjoyed that, as well as my first work in 5 years. My plan is to really hit you with everything I've got. I hope you enjoyed Kaiju number 8, volume 1. And I think it's really cool that he is taking it so seriously. And I am quite pleased with the first volume. I'm going to try starting a couple new ones. I guess as a spoiler for my haul video, I'll show you that I also got this, which I know nothing about. To be fair, I went into Kaiju number 8 with no knowledge of what it was about whatsoever besides the cover art. I got this because it looks like it's also kind of like a funny comedy kind of thing. We'll see. I have no idea what that's about yet, but overall, yeah, I would really recommend this. If you're not super into manga, then I think you will have a very easy start getting in with this series. There's not a lot going on you need to know. The only real style difference is the right to left reading. Overall, there's not a lot of tropes or things that really set it apart from American or European comics. It's just comics. Like, it's really just right to left comics. And it's just thoroughly enjoyable. The cartooning is fantastic. I found the writing to be very, very well done. I think it's setting up a lot of interesting stuff. As always with manga, it's fairly decompressed, so you're not getting a ton of story for the page count, but you are getting a ton of beautiful art. And what you are getting is so dense because of that decompression that You're getting every moment-to-moment scene, and you're really feeling like you're living in the world, which is the good thing about decompression. Whereas sometimes the bad thing is you just want to get to the next thing. You don't want. It's like having an entire 20-issue or 20-page issue of a comic, of an American comic, be one whole fight scene. You're gonna get that a lot in manga. But anyway, this is already like twice the length of the video I wanted to make, so really excited to continue with this book. Let me know if there's any other manga out there. I know if you are into manga, you already know about this series. It's like a huge hit, and it's, I think, getting a show, an anime. Not sure about that, but if there's anything like this that you think I could start, my only note would be that I don't want to start stuff with less than, let's say, 8 to 10 volumes, because I want to have a larger body of work to get through. I don't want to be waiting, because in America, we're waiting like 2 to 3 months between each volume, like I am with Dawn to Dawn. And that kills me sometimes, especially when I think about how much I enjoy that series, just waiting 2 to 3 months between every volume, and then reading those volumes in one sitting. It hurts sometimes just to not be able to like sit down and just read a lot of comics. So let me know if there's any series that I should go back and check out, similar to this one or not, just whatever you guys think. Thanks a ton for watching, guys. Peace.